Empowering listeners from the US to the UK. Live on air with Stephen Cuoco.
There is a difference between a person who hurts you by making a mistake and a person who hurts you by continuing a pattern. Mistakes can be forgiven. Patterns should be broken. A wise man, my Sicilian grandfather, once said that when someone is truly sorry, they never do it again. If they are not truly sorry and are trying to take advantage of you in a situation, they will repeat the pattern over and over and over again. It may look different. It may sound different. Actions may change up. Either way, the message is always the same, no matter how it is boxed. I'm Stephen Cuoco, and you are listening to Live on Air with Stephen Cuoco. And I'm grateful to have you here. We're a family. We're here always open to talk about business and entertainment, music, sports. We can share tips and insight when it comes to public relations and media. I've been doing public relations and media for over 30 years. I'm a 2-time award-winning publicist, an acclaimed radio and media personality, journalist, and I'm happy to be with you every day, all day, however we can make this happen. If you have any questions, you would like to be a guest on my show, you can email me at unitedangelsdream@gmail.com. That is unitedangelsdream@gmail.com. Also, you can head on over to my public relations website. That's stephencuoco.com, STEVENCUOCO.com. Whether you're listening on Power 98.5 satellite radio or on Biz Talk Radio, we are your premier destination for all great things, news, talk, and more. Once again, send me those questions. I want to hear from you. If you'd like to be a guest, send me your information. Definitely want to take a look at that, and my team will be available to take a look at that as well. To expand on when someone is sorry, they mean it, they don't do it again. When they're not and they're taking advantage of the situation, it just keeps going and going and going. You got to bring that to a stop. Set those boundaries, hold to yourself and others accountability. We're going to look into surrounding yourself with positivity. Advocate for creating a positive environment. Suggest connecting with supportive communities, cultivating uplifting relationships, and minimizing exposure to negativity. Are you doing that? How often are you minimizing exposure to negativity? It can be anything. And don't be deceived. Sometimes the most angelic person, situation, whatever it may be, sometimes darkness does try to live in light. Once again, sometimes darkness does try to live in light or emulate as a light being. Something angelic, something positive. I'm not saying be suspicious of people. People will tell you exactly who you are and what they're about. We're not going to get confused about that there. It's obvious. Keep your ears open and your mouth shut, and you're going to learn a lot more. And I'm going to tell you, for the last 50 years, it's what I've lived by. At least I can remember since the age of 3-4 years old when my grandfather said that to me. Keep your ears and eyes open and your mouth shut, and you're going to learn a lot more about life. And that is so true. But yeah, what are you exposing yourself to? A positive environment can significantly contribute to one's sense of self-worth. You want to have a good environment. You want to live in an environment and be where you are accepted, where you are loved, where you are appreciated. and a place that you can come home to. You should not have to go to work. You should not have to go on the bus. You should not have to come back home and be in chaos. There is nothing about this life, your life, that says the rule of law is that you need to live a life in discomfort. There is nothing that says your life needs to be in anarchy. We cannot control everything in life. Sometimes we wonder why, and you have every right to ask why. But also at the same time, there's got to be an answer. Pray about it. Ask questions. But don't put it on the back burner. It is not fair for you to think that it is your burden to be carrying on generational curses. It is not your responsibility and burden to think and believe that you're doomed or cursed. Get rid of that. Don't let people believe that you need to live less than who you are. And the power of prayer can do many things. And I don't know whether you're religious or what your spiritual beliefs are, or if you believe in prayer. All I have to say is this: believe in something, because you're not meant to be here and walk around the earth like a mummy. You're not meant to be here to just live a mundane life. There is nothing useless about you. You're going to work. You're paying your bills. You're doing your best to take care of your family. You're doing your best to take care of yourself. As long as you're doing something and participating and contributing and honoring and respecting, it doesn't mean that you need to change anything by thinking that you are just meant to be in subservitude. Everyone can be a leader. I have said it before, and I will always say it and remind you. A true master is a student and teacher all at the same time. There will always be something and someone for you to learn from, and there will be always somebody in this world for you to teach something to help better their lives and their emotions and their self-esteem and who they are as a person. There's always something more for you to do as a student and as a teacher. Remember this. Keep in mind, practice mindfulness and presence. What are you mindful about? What are you paying attention to? Where are you leaving an impact with your presence? We can look at it by saying you can introduce mindfulness practices to stay present in the moment. What are they? What are your mindfulness practices? What are you living by in truth and integrity, with good, healthy morals, encompassing values, as well as with withstanding the test of time by holding yourself when we think of integrity and accountability? What is that to you? What does that mean to you? Once again, practice mindfulness and have a presence. Speak your truth. Live your truth. Know your truth. And sometimes you don't have to apologize. If you did not create a problem and do something wrong, then why are you apologizing for it? Here's another thing to consider. You can provide simple mindfulness exercises that can be easily incorporated in your daily life. It is that simple. It can be morning devotions. It can be you saying good morning to your loved one. It could be doing a kind deed for yourself before you start your day. Something. Just do it. Encourage self-expression. When have you heard that before? Or is this the first time? Encourage self-expression. Here's the point. Advocate for creative outlets and self-expression, whether through art, writing, or music. Encourage yourself, encourage other people to find ways to express their thoughts and emotions. You can do this always just by fostering a deeper connection within yourself and with other people. I was just on a phone call with someone today. I was on a Zoom call with someone today. I had no idea how long the call was going to be. I had no idea how long the interaction was going to be. Both went over the scheduled time. Both people told me that they're running late for their next meeting. And I consider that something positive, something great, because we were connecting. We were in that conversation together. We were building a relationship. How important do you remind yourself and other people to lead by example? Always remind yourself, if you're a public speaker, you're a journalist, you're a television host, you're a radio host, you're a podcaster, whoever, whatever you are, even if you are a restaurant owner, lead by example. Remind your students, remind your family, remind your audience, remind your readers, remind even yourself that teaching self-love is not just about words, it's about actions. You know this. You know that leading by example is demonstrating self-love in your own life. Speak it and live it. Are you just speaking it to tell it? More specifically, are you preaching? Or are you living by an example? There are encouraging people out there that preach, and that's fine if you want to encourage and inspire. But when you have real life experiences, you're not preaching. You're enlightening. You're leading by example. You're encouraging. You're inspiring. There's a difference between preaching to someone and being enlightening and encouraging someone. A big difference. People who preach, they usually never have their ears open. Like Judge Judy said, turn on your listening ears. Are you listening? That's what's important. Open your ears. And remember, you deserve better than what you possibly think about your own self. If you are thinking and believing you don't, where did that start? Is that your program? Is that someone else's program? Is that stem from childhood? Does that stem from being in an abusive relationship or marriage? Who taught you that? What led you to believe that you are not worthy enough for greatness and happiness? My belief, my true belief, God gave us the opportunity and gift of free will. He gives us the opportunity to create great business relationships, personal relationships, the gift and ability to have families, to create a legacy, to have a family, to have pets. I believe that God wants us all to have a fulfilling life. My mother, who adopted me, always said God does not make mistakes. So since there are no mistakes in life, then that means everything is perfectly in and through God, which means we should not be having all this mess. And you have every right to find out who's creating the mess. Why is this mess here? There are some things I refuse to accept, no matter what people say. You are perfect in God's image. It's what is taught. It's what's always been told. It's what's been preached. It's what's been enlightened and encouraged. I don't believe God wants his children to suffer and people to suffer. That doesn't make sense to me at all. Understanding personal limits. I wanted to take a pause there for a moment just so you can reflect. I don't want to speed through these shows. I don't speed through my shows. I'm here to ask questions. I'm here to encourage you to connect, journal, write things down. Don't hesitate to send me an email. Contact the station. Let them know you'd like to be a guest on a show. Let them know that you've got a question, whether it's on Power 98.5 satellite radio or Biz Talk Radio. Let them know. That's what we're here for. Go to my website. One way or another, I always have a conversation when I speak to the Lord and do my prayers is I want answers. I would like to have answers. I don't want to be driving down the road not knowing how to be able to see outside my windshield. It's just like living in this body. You want to know what's happening. Where are you driving? Where are you walking? Where are you going? What's happening in your life? You should not be blinded from the fact to be able to exercise your God-given right of free will, to be able to know what your options are. How can you exercise your right of choice and freedom? Being very serious about that. I've lived a long time and experienced a lot of things even in my own journey. Thinking and feeling and believing that maybe there isn't more or better. And that's not true. You don't deserve that. None of us deserve that. God did not put us here to think and believe that. No. We can just stay in heaven. Why be here when we can just be with God? So understanding personal limits. Encourage individuals and where you can begin to reflect on their own needs, values, and comfort zones. What are they? What are your needs? What are your values? What are your comfort zones? What makes you uncomfortable? I'm encouraging you to do what has helped me most of my life, or I would say my entire life since I could write. Therapeutic journaling. Please write down what are your values, what are your comfort zones, what makes you uncomfortable, and what are your needs. You deserve answers to that. Also, setting boundaries begins with a deep understanding of personal limits. Do you have a problem telling people what your personal limits are? How are you saying no? How are you responding or reacting? Don't do it in anger. Find a way to be peaceful. But keep in mind, it's not a sin to be angry. Jesus was angry when the people were in a temple gambling and doing all these things. I was always told it's not a sin to be angry. It can be a sin of how you allow that anger to control you. And what actions you take and what you do when you are angry. That's what you got to be mindful of. Preserving mental and emotional health. We can explain that by setting boundaries is not about being rigid, but about prioritizing mental and emotional health. It's about establishing limits on the time, energy, and emotional investment in certain situations that you offer yourself in, that you choose to put yourself in. Why are you choosing to do that? Why are you allowing that to happen? Why is this person in your home? Why did you commit to that job or that situation? Did you think it out thoroughly? Did you write it down? Did you consider the pros and cons? Did you consider what it could do to you, for you, against you? And also at the same time, what do you plan on gaining out of it when you think about these commitments you get yourself tied into and commit yourself to? Is it because you're fearing rejection? You don't want to disappoint? Are you doing it because you're seeing it as a business opportunity? Something that's going to take you to the next level? Are you using it and making decisions because of strategy? What's the reason? It's about communicating self-worth. It's about emphasizing that setting boundaries is a powerful way to communicate one's self-worth. I'll be redundant about that over and over again. I said it before, I'm going to say it again. By clearly defining what is and isn't acceptable, your responsibility is to convey your value and demonstrate that to what matters to you most and to your needs. That's it. Respect your time. Are you respecting your time? Or are you stretching yourself out too far? We all know the underlying importance of time is as valuable as any other resource. It's a commodity. You've heard it before. You can't get time back. It's not just about that you can't get time back. It's that your responsibility is making sure that we do our best not to have regrets. It's about us and our commitment and responsibility and promises and devotion that we make that makes all the difference. And time is included in that. Mindfulness, being mindful that to make sure or to be making sure that your time is not wasted. You don't waste your time. You're not wasting other people's time. That we are not wasting anything. Why? Simple. It's about promoting personal freedom. Setting boundaries is an act of claiming personal freedom, and it also allows individuals to make choices aligned with their own values and desires, while creating a sense of autonomy and empowerment. It's about creating autonomy and empowerment, which will then give you that balance that you need in your life. It will give you that balance. Yes. It's what we all want more of. Balance and a peace of mind. We can look at the fact that setting boundaries is a profound act of self-respect. It involves understanding personal limits. It's about preserving mental and emotional health, communicating your self-worth, and it's about creating healthy relationships. It prevents, here's what's most beneficial about this. It prevents resentment. It empowers you. It empowers other people. It will empower your personal growth. It will empower the community. It teaches others how to treat you and respects your time as a valuable resource. We can look at concluding it's promoting personal freedom and maintaining balance, but we keep coming back to it. It's about setting boundaries, and it's about becoming a dynamic expression of your own self through self-respect and where you're contributing to your overall well-being, to your family, your job, but ultimately it always comes back to self. It's what it's about. It's about that self-respect. Another thing that I appreciate is something I read recently. The best part of being authentic is that there is no image to maintain. You will delight some and disturb others, and none of it will concern the truth of your being. Did you get that? I'm going to repeat it. The best part of being authentic is that there is no image to maintain. When I first read that, I thought to myself, how we go to university, how we are in our jobs, it's about maintaining image. potentially control of the narrative and context, whether it be of self or of others or of the business. You will delight some and disturb others, and none of it will concern the truth of your being. Is there a problem of you being you? Is there a problem when you're respecting other people and their boundaries as well? Is there a problem for you to express yourself? In this day and age, people seem to have no problem expressing themselves, to the point to where I'm thinking to myself, I grew up in the 70s and 80s. Man, did we not get away with this type of murder and this type of flexibility. There was no, extra rope given. It didn't work like that. You didn't cancel somebody out. No one had the power to just say, instead of doing real journalism, going to use the media to get you fired and lose your entire life. Never thought that the world would come to that. Never thought that, in days where people had different political opinions, it was like the same of, oh, who's your favorite sports team? Oh, you like the San Francisco 49ers. Oh, you like the Eagles. Oh, you like the Jets or the Dallas Cowboys. And that was it. It was happy banter. It was, competition. But there was no vigilante behavior where people went out and clearly decided to think it was okay to destroy someone's life over who they voted for of a president, what people's viewpoints are. Who has the right to have that kind of power? No one should have that kind of power. What's the point of freedom if anyone can cry wolf and take a family down to starvation and homelessness? How is that sane? How is that loving? How is that selfless? To destroy someone with no compassion and to not know whether a baby is on the way, someone is about to get married, someone could be paying for a parent to get surgery. Someone could have a family member in a nursing home and they're covering the bill. And someone goes and does something only because they felt safe and secure to express their freedom, only to come to find out it came with a huge loss. We are supposed to sit at the table to be able to have a conversation and to have meeting of the minds. Nobody will ever 100% agree. Not in this world and not in this lifetime. I highly doubt everyone will come to 8 billion people are going to agree on one specific thing. What is that? I'm sure everyone will agree on. 8 billion people would agree. I want to be rich. I want to be healthy. Is there a but? That I guarantee you. There is not one person I highly doubt who would want to starve, live in poverty, and not live in luxury. But really? That's it? The only common ground that we see on social media and online, and what I'm seeing more often than not in the news, is all about wealth, wealth, wealth. What can we do to quickly get rich? Off of someone else's money. Off of someone else's livelihood. Off of someone else's hard work. If you can't do it on your own for yourself, I'm just going to be putting it like this. I wasn't questioning whether I should correct what I'm saying. I just wanted to feel what I was going to say before I was going to say. I would encourage everyone and anyone that has this thought and mindset that people in a world are just welfare checks or checks that are going to get you by because you don't want to do things for yourself, or you have people in your life, you're allowing people in your life to take advantage, to not work for what they have and what they earn, and they just want a free ride of people buying programs and books and whatever else to make a living so that they can keep producing more content and are never available, or they just want to preach, but not offer real resolution and resolve to a situation. That's not fair. That's not fair at all. I mean, I don't mind. I've got some programs, but I don't peddle them out. I don't push it. I'm not going to put marketing and advertising in people. Hey, buy this program. That'll take you to this program you can buy. Then we're going to go to this program. And then I'm going to do a speaking engagement. Then I'm going to come out for a book that you can buy. Like, I am not going to treat people like a welfare check. It's not happening. I want to get paid. We all want to get paid. We want to work. We want to live our life. And it needs to be fulfilling. It's not fulfilling if you're not there. It's not fulfilling when someone is not engaging to be part of your life, to be part of your world, to be part of your brilliance, to be part of your love, your respect, and most importantly, that master, that student and teacher all at the same time. We want unity. We want to unify to be able to have better understanding of each other. We want to be able to freely express who we are. And even if there's a disagreement or even if there's judgment, but people should not be taking it upon their hands to destroy you or your business, and you should not be living in fear or have to live in fear. None of us should be living in a space or in a world or an environment where we cannot share. We cannot grow if we're not sharing. We cannot teach if we don't understand. A person cannot learn if they don't know their options to be able to choose. I want to go back to that part again. The best part of being authentic is that there is no image to maintain. You will delight some and disturb others, and none of it will concern the truth of your being. Meeting of the minds. Let's have a conversation. Once again, perspective. What does that mean? What is that about? It's subjective. It's an opinion. I believe and hope and encourage that everything that you do in life has purpose. Even if you're making ceramics, you're making homemade chocolates, and keep in mind, I like a chocolate cheesecake and some good fudge. I had a caramel chocolate truffle tonight. I treated myself. A little tiny with a little bit of salt on top. If you got a successful bakery, whatever it is, I mean, I could be one of your customers. Don't hesitate to let me know if you do. You know, I'll burn it off. I'll go in a sauna. I'll do some jogging, running, working out. I like to indulge. It's a gift that we've got here in this world, you know, to be able to enjoy some sweets. But do that. Healthy mindfulness, healthy practices. Write down what your boundaries are. If somebody wronged you, somebody hurt you, write it down. Send them a letter. Send them a voice message, whether it be on Instagram or a text message. Let them know that you're not happy with how the conversation went and you would like to revisit it. Take a couple hours, a couple minutes, a couple days. Have you ever heard the saying, never go to bed angry? Oh, that's so true. Don't live throughout your day angry. You live throughout your day angry, you're going to take that everywhere you go, even in the Starbucks when you're getting your coffee, or if you're going back to work, or your boss wants to have a conversation with you and you take that anger with you, it could cost you your job. You have your own business, you're an entrepreneur, you could lose a client. Be mindful of that. One of my quotes I had written back a while ago, I believe it was included in my book. And it goes like this: I dare to believe in the beauty of my dreams, and I use my imagination to see them fulfilled. Do you dare to believe? Do you dare to believe in yourself, in your loved ones? I know it's easier said than done, especially if there's a problem or something that's giving you heartbreak. Just sit down and find out, what can you do now to better yourself, someone else's life, your family's life? What can you do? You may not escape the worry. You may not escape the fear. I'm not going to sit here and say that there's something magical out there for you to do. But one thing that you do have the capability of, and that's choice. Make an effort. How often do parents teach that to their kids? I know mine did. Make an effort. It's better than doing nothing. Right? I hope you enjoyed this episode. Looking forward to sharing more with you. And I'm here to share, not preach. I'm here to encourage and to create relationships and friendships. Once again, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm Stephen Cuoco, and you're listening to Live on Air with Stephen Cuoco. Email me, unitedangelsdream@gmail.com. Look forward to talking to you soon, and have a beautiful and most wonderful day. And Happy New Year.